So as we come out of this 10-10 portal and we move ever closer to the full moon in Aries, a lot of you will be rising into and materializing higher timelines, okay? It's really important that as this occurs that you remember a few things. This is just one of many things that you need to remember as you rise, okay? This is nothing new that I'm about to share with you. It's just a reminder. It's coming up today. It came up when I was writing Daily Alchemy, and it also was coming up in the life of a friend of mine. And so I figured I'd come on here and I would talk about it because this is an energy that will often come up when we're timeline shifting. And the timeline shifting that we're going through right now on a personal and a collective level is monumental. Okay, so your cynics and your critics are oftentimes intimidated by your progress and your evolution. I'm going to say that again. Your cynics and your critics are oftentimes intimidated by your progress and your evolution. And understand and overstand that some of your greatest cynics and critics are not people who start off in hostility with you, and it doesn't even have to be a hostile situation. They're just people who at a certain point are no longer sharing your vision. Sometimes what actually is occurring is you're being given the opportunity to see that they lacked faith in your vision to begin with. They lacked faith in you. Oftentimes what you might be dealing with is a person who put you up on a pedestal and now they're ready to tear you down. And people do that a lot when they admire you, or they admire something about you, or they admire something that you're bringing, or some way that you make them feel. And then the minute that you stop doing that, because you're living in accordance with your reality and not theirs, they seek to tear you down in some way or to discredit you. And the reason people do that is because they have that God-devil complex where either you're God in their lives or you have to be the devil. And the reason why they have to do that to another person is because they are at war with themselves. They haven't fully integrated their higher selves to elevate that in their reality, and they also haven't accepted their lower selves to also integrate that. So they're still at war with those versions of self. And so beings like that tend to still raise others on pedestals, and then the minute those people disappoint them, they want to tear them down. Okay, so that's just one example of that energy. But be aware that beings who are not on the same trajectory as you, don't see your vision, don't share your vision, can oftentimes become the cynics and the critics of what it is you're doing, where it is you're going, how it is you're expressing it. But the truth of the matter is that we are all here on individual soul journeys. We all have individual soul purposes, and we all have a way to get there. We all have lessons to learn along the way. We're not here to be perfect. We're not here to criticize how another person gets to where they need to go on their own divine journey and their own divine path. And whenever we are shifting very monumentally, those energies that like to kind of gatekeep and watch what other beings are doing instead of focusing on the gravity of what it is that they need to be focusing on internally will be those cynical and critical voices. Don't let anyone who doesn't understand who you are and has not been given your vision and doesn't know who you are or what your divine blueprint is to try to dictate to you how you should move in your power, how you should express the gifts and the talents and the resources that you've been entrusted with. Don't let anyone try to come into your reality and be a god over you. Not in voice, not in how they cause you to think about yourself, not in the ways they cause you to feel about yourself. Whatever vision and dream you've been given in this season, and whatever directions your own soul has given you to get there, that's the voice, the only voice you listen to and you trust. Because there's a lot of cynical and critical energy that's going to arise, or that does arise through these timeline shifts, because they're intimidated by your progress and your evolution, or they just don't get where it is you're going. And that's okay. It's not for them to get, oftentimes. Okay, so that's the message I have coming through. Another thing I wanted to share with you, this is a message that you could say is a conjuncting message. It could stand alone. I'm not going to go too much into it. I'm just going to drop what it was that was reinstated to me. And that is that a reminder that Yeshua didn't come here primarily and firstly to tear down the financial institutions and the governments. He came to deal with the spiritual community and the mockery that was passing as beings, being close to source or being close to God or leading people in that truth. He came for that first. And we are entering a period of time where we're going to see a lot of shifts in the spiritual community, because a lot of the things that have been being put out there in the world as enlightenment teachings are actually just false matrix doctrines that have been sprinkled with spiritual rhetoric and principles designed to take people but so far on their journey and cap them at a certain level. So anyway, that's what I have for you for now. I'll see you again soon.